Alrighty guys, welcome back to another one. It's turkey season here in Kentucky, so I figured why not throw together a simple turkey load for you guys. Now, this one's really cool. We're using nickel-plated number 6 shot, which is awesome. Thanks Martin for that. I've used this previously in a 10 gauge shell, but this time we're doing 3-inch 12 gauge. The payload is obviously not going to be as huge. That was 2 3/4 ounces of the shot. This time it's only going to be 1 3/4 ounces. That's about all I can get to fit in this shell. Other wads will allow for more shot, but this is just 1 3/4 ounces. And to keep this video short and simple and to the point, the components we're using are a brand new primed 3-inch Shadot hull. This one's green, looks awesome. I like the darker Remington hulls, but this is still a nice color. I like green. But that doesn't matter. We're using long shot powder, 26. The TPS White Lightning wad. As far as I can tell, these are discontinued. However, it is the same thing as a regular 3-inch TPS wad. So, yeah, you can't get these anymore, at least not for right now. So, the regular 3-inch TPS will do. They are the exact same wad. This one's just white instead of clear or translucent. But, again, they are the same. Next, we'll be needing a 1/8 inch 20 gauge fiber cushion wad. You could use felt or cork if you have those, but I have fiber cushion wad just on hand, so that's what I'm using. Next is my slim Mylar wrap. Can you guys even see that? There you go. My slim Mylar wrap. The Mylar helps with flyers. It helps keep the pattern together. It's just a great thing to have. I love the Mylar wraps. And then let's see, here's the jar. It's a Gatorade bottle. But BPI nickel-plated number 6 shot. This stuff pattern is awesome. I love nickel-plated shot. It's better than copper-plated. It is more expensive, though, so, you know. As far as lead shot goes, very high antimony, tin, whatever. Nickel-plated shot is the way to go. It is the hardest, and it patterns the best. Now, lastly, we'll be needing some buffer. I'm using BPI BSP buffer. This used to be ITX. It's the same product. It just changed names. This is my favorite buffer of all time. So, turkey shells, a little bit time consuming to put together. They don't go together super quick. Why not use the best buffer we have available to us? My philosophy behind that is you give it the goods, it's going to give you the goods. So, a load like this is going to be leaving the barrel around 1200 FPS with at least a 26 to 28 inch barrel. Anything shorter than that, you're going to be hovering around 1150 to 1280. Let's call it that. But with the guns we have, a load like this is usually hovering right around 1200. Guys, I love putting together turkey loads. It's probably my favorite thing to throw together besides buckshot. It's a lot of fun. Again, it is a little bit time consuming, but to me, it's therapy for me. You guys have heard me say that before. I'm sure other people have said it. It is just therapy. Loading turkey loads and heavy buckshot loads, it's a lot of fun. So, to get this started, we need that. Our TPS wad. I do have this trimmed just a little bit. I think it was a 1/16 of an inch to 1/8 of an inch, just to be able to fold crimp it. The TPS wads come a little bit long. If you buy the 2 3/4, 3 or 3.5 inch versions, they do actually run a little bit long, and sometimes with certain powders, it can be hard to fold crimp those shells unless you trim the wads. So again, I have this trimmed about a 1/16 of an inch. We need our 1/8 inch 20 gauge fiber cushion wad. If you don't have fiber cushion, again, you can use the felt or cork or whatever you have. Make your own. I've even used paper towels before, and it does seem to work. But that's going to add a little bit of cushion to the payload, as well as bring up stack height. Without it, yes, you can get a little bit more payload, but with the long shot powder, it is a hotter powder than Little Gun, Blue Dot, Alliance Steel, things like that. So, in my opinion anyway, you should be using some sort of cushion in there. Next, we need the My Slim Mylar wrap. You can use the My Thin Mylar, but you will have to trim it a little bit because they are too tall to fit a 3-inch shell. And 3.5, no trimming required, but this comes up 3/4 the length of the wad. Not quite to the top, but good enough. I just don't feel like trimming Mylar wrap today. That's the only reason. Now we have 1 3/4 ounces exactly of the nickel-plated number 6 shot. And once we give that a little shake, all of that shot should be inside the wad. Well, I take that back. All but the very top layer of pellets are inside the wad. There's a few that's out, but still, during setback, that's gonna, set back into the wad, and all of it will be in the wad. I'm using the Lee 2.2 cc dipper. We're gonna take 1.5 scoops of it and buffer this payload. And once the pellets start picking through the buffer, you're good to go. We're going to give this a 6-point crimp, which is the back station of the 12 gauge Lee Loadoll. Well, I forgot these were on here. Those are the 410 OMB tools. I got to pull these off real quick to be able to crimp this 12 gauge shell. I honestly have no idea how I missed those, but let's give that a pre-crimp. Looks awesome. Now moving over to this press for a second, well, I have the GYP Rabasator for a 12 gauge. It is a middle crimp station, and the reason I have it on this press is because for some reason, using the other press, that will not sit straight up and down whenever you try to use it. It kind of lopsides a little bit. I don't know why it's doing that, so I have it attached to this press. Unexplainable. Yeah, and this is what the Rabasator does. It creates a crease around the center of the crimp. Basically, it's going to dome it in, for lack of a better term. And once we final crimp this, it's going to look like a factory shell. Back over here, just close it up. Check this out. Very uniform crimp on that, not wavy across the top at all. It is not lopsided. We have a deep set crimp. It ain't ever gonna pop open. However, yeah, we have a really good crimp on it, but it does have no taper whatsoever. So off camera, I'll hit it with a GYP BN2 and get back with you. And there, guys, is the end result. We have a flawless crimp on it. You can get flawless crimps every single time using the GYP or OMV tools. It is the way to go with new hauls if you want professional looking crimps. Like I said, throwing turkey loads together is a whole lot of fun. We put together one last year for one of Josh's friends. His name is Stick, and his dad shot a turkey at 25 yards with it, and it took its head off. And we wanted to see that for ourselves, so we recreated it and shot it through a 640 choke, non-ported. He was using a 645, but still, it's close enough. And we shot it at 25 yards, and the pattern, not kidding, you guys saw it, was like that. It was tiny. And this one right here, it's not too different from that load. But anyway, guys, I think that's going to end this one here. Please like and subscribe. We always appreciate that. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section below, and we'll get back to you. And if you want to, go check out our Patreon. It's as low as $1 a month. You guys get early access to content. A link to that, as well as a link to our Instagram, Rumble, and merch store will be in the description below. But other than that, you guys take it easy, and we'll see you in the next one.